finally time that I get this car back up and going. I've had this Mazda for about 12 years and it hasn't been registered in the last 7, so I want to get it up and registered and start driving it again. It was a fun car. I've got all the pieces to put the factory turbo back on and exhaust, well, at least the downpipe and the mid pipe, and then all this other stuff to go back onto it so I can start driving it. So let's pull this old turbo kit off. Well, I shouldn't say old, this nice turbo kit. And then we will get it all cleaned up, get a few things converted over. I have to figure something out with this port injection. I'm not going to run it for now. Those injectors need to be cleaned. They've been sitting for 2 years with Q16 in them, so they probably are no good. As well as actually the Q16 in the fuel tank. So I'll get that drained. And then we're just going to take it for a drive and hopefully everything is good. And sorry about the background noise. I'm watching some drag racing going on, so got to do something while you're in the garage, right? You ever feel bad for a car because it's been so neglected? That's how I feel for the Mazda. So I took the hood off, I vacuumed it up. You can still see that it is pretty dirty. That's fine. We'll address that later. But we're gonna start by pulling off wastegate tubes, battery box, exhaust manifold, and then get that all out. I'm excited to drive it again though. It's always a fun car. Got a lot of condensation in there. I mean, it's not full by any means, but there's definitely stuff in there. One side is free. Yeah, the side hates me. One, two. These have been open. I'm surprised they're not full of water. Very nice. Once again, not a lot of water. Alright, there's one. Should we see if water comes out of it? Yep. Don't abuse your extensions. Water shouldn't come out of there. Oh man, there's still water coming out. Alright, so water is coming out of the bottom hose on these ones, which just means that stem's leaking pretty good. Water's gotten in there, probably deteriorated and all that. Alright, so here's where we are at. The intercooler piping is off the housing, the oil drain is out, the exhaust is off, the O2 sensor is out, so got the oil drain there. I'm currently going to pull the turbo, but I just noticed this. This is kind of funny, actually. I'm missing a bolt. See that on the right side? It's supposed to have one like that, but it's gone. So I'm going to unbolt the turbo from the exhaust manifold. We'll unbolt the manifold, pull the turbo, and then I can start mocking up that factory turbo. Hopefully I didn't bend any of those blades. Looks good. Sick. Alright. Forgot how this goes in there, so we're gonna just twist it until it comes out. See if I can hold this out of the way and get the turbo out of there at least. Alright, turbo's out. I ended up pulling the compressor housing off. Since I don't have a lift, I'm going to go ahead and just jack this up, and then we will pull the downpipe out of the bottom, and we'll start putting all that stuff in. Oh, it's messy. I need to clean in here bad when I have time. So this is crazy, the size difference between the stock turbo and the turbo that was just on the Mazda. So this is the factory turbo. This is the one that just came off, and this is what was on it at one point in time. So this is a 7285. This is a Borg 366, S366 clone, the SXE, so it's got the billet wheel on it. And then this is just a stock size KO4 turbo. It's sad because this one was so much fun. This one will be a blast because it'll make a lot of torque, but this made some serious steam. And that one was good until it bent the shaft. You can't see it on that, but you can see the rub marks down in here on this backside. So here's where we're at with this. Basically that turbo is in, that teeny little guy. You can see downpipe is in. It is not bolted up though. So still need to bolt it, but I decided I'm just going to cut off these two tabs and then cut this off and just weld. I'm going to use these for the wastegate over on this side. They'll be welded up over here so that I don't have to go get more aluminum and drill and tap and all that fun stuff. I'll just cut them and just re-weld it and get it in there. Alright, that turbo is in there. Generally the outlet is facing up and it goes up over. We went down, and that different wastegate is on there. Took a little bit of fab, but we got it. So I think we should do a first start. I'm not worried about it not starting, just if it's leaking. Oh, it's so quiet. Rust everywhere, but I'm not used to the car being this quiet. It's crazy. That's a huge difference. Well, let's see what a couple cold revs will do. Oh. Yo, that's ridiculous. I love it. Well, let's take it for a quick spin. I'm taking it easy. It's on drag radials. It's snowing. The tune is untested, and it's got some old gas in it. Alright, that tune is pretty far off so far, so it's alright, we'll fix it. Oh. Oh man, my air fuel ratio is so rich. Holy shiza. There's no traction from a quarter throttle on. At like 3,000 RPM and a quarter throttle, there's nothing. And I get it, it's wet, it's cold, it's snowing. It's not sticky, but it is snowing. it is blowing the tires off. I don't know. That's an addicting sound though. It's terrible for the turbo, but it's addicting. That's like 8 or 10 pounds that it's doing that. This twin disc is pretty hard to drive. I might be throwing the factory clutch back in this. That's 10 pounds. For sure gonna fix that bypass valve. I have that other one from VS Racing. Great company, highly suggest them. Golly. The build and everything compounded on top of this, plus the flow of the motor, this is gonna be a blast. That was only 10 pounds out of that baby turbo. So when it makes 25, it is gonna be insane. It's gonna make all the torque. And I imagine on the dry roads, it's still gonna spin quite a bit, at least second and possibly third. I do plan on putting some ethanol in this eventually, but for now,